Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to Roll with Advantage. And this week, we're going to talk about...
You can tune in in a few weeks to see Joe talk about the
Listen, I know.
You can tune in in a few weeks to see Joe talk about the
Okay,
Uncharted. You can tune in in a few
I know I
weeks
was...
to see Joe talk about the Uncharted
Stop!
series.
Stop! I know. I was going to talk about Uncharted for my video in March, but I had a better idea. I don't know. That's really it. I had a better idea. And while there's a lot you can learn from Uncharted as a DM in terms of action and interjecting excitement into your campaign and combat encounters and skill challenges, that's not what I want to talk about today. Instead, I want to talk about this. I conducted a poll. And in that poll, through the channel, 42% of the people that voted on that poll said that the thing they struggle with most is crafting engaging plot points. And I get it. Doing it from scratch is not easy. And if you're tired of running the same modules over and over and over again, you'll want to branch out into the homebrew. You'll want to do something new and exciting. Something that's your idea. But the thing is, a lot of us slacked off in our English classes back in high school. So when it comes to storytelling basics, we don't really have a good foundation for that. We know what we like, right? When we watch a movie, read a book, watch a TV show, or play a video game, we know what type of stories we like. But in the same way where I can go to a restaurant and I can eat a meal that I love and go home and try and cook the same thing, I'll be honest with you, brother, I don't cook, all right? It does not work. Doesn't turn out the way I want it to. It's not the same as what was made before. And that's because of three factors. Number one is time, the amount of effort and time you spend doing something. Number two is knowledge, how much you know about it. And three, the most important one, and the one that you're here to do, is a desire to learn more. You will never get better at something if you don't try to expand your knowledge. So instead of talking about Uncharted, we're going to sort of make a sequel to the secondary objectives video, where in that video we talked about what you can do to improve your combat, right? 10 secondary objectives to spice up your combat encounters to make them better. Today we're going to be looking at the second pillar in D&D, which is the story, or role-playing. And I'm going to give you 10 things you can do, 10 plot twists you can add to your stories, your homebrew campaigns, to spice things up and make them, delicious. So that's what we're going to do. I want to delve into the building bricks of story crafting today with these plot points or these plot twists you can steal for your campaigns. If this is something you'd like to see more of in terms of how to craft a narrative, comment below. If that's the case, that'll be the video that we do in April. The building blocks of narrative and how to make a compelling story as a DM. That's what we're going to cover. If you have any plot twists or things you've done to your players in particular, make sure to comment that below as well. I love reading stories about the twisted, fucked up shit DMs do to their players for funsies. Let's go ahead and dive into these 10 things, and let's see if we can figure out a way to spice up our campaign, but also to bring some magic back to the table. Get those players wanting more. You know what I mean? So talking, wanting to play more, not like number one, Familial Connection. This is one of my favorites. Picture this. There is a major antagonistic force or mysterious figure that is revealed to be related to one of the party members. Oh my god. Like the paladin discovering that the evil baron that is torturing this land is actually his long-lost uncle. This twist not only connects the antagonist to personally to the party, it also has the ability to shape and change into something exciting and different later on. Imagine, they get to the end, they go to fight the baron. They have this confrontation, and the paladin lands the killing blow on the baron. And in his final moments, the baron, as he's gasping for breath, says, "And then the curse passes to you. I'm sorry. I wish I could have been better." His corruption spread through my mind, and there was nothing I could do. I'm sorry. Death rattle, right? The player will say, "Oh shit, my uncle was a good guy. He was just corrupted." And then also, "Oh, he said the curse spreads to me. What does that mean? I don't know. And maybe it has no actual impact on how the paladin plays his character. It's a seed of doubt, though, that causes the player to start role-playing in a different way. Boom, fun plot twist. Number two, a connection to a deeper conspiracy. Players love theorizing. They love mystery. They love seeing things unfold and not having the full answer and having to figure it out or trying to guess, to theorize. The problem is, your campaign might just be boring. And that's no shade. That is, honestly, I ran through the same thing when I was a new DM. The players aren't engaging with it. They're not theorizing because there's no mystery. There's nothing for them to dig into. So next time they defeat a B villain, right? Somebody who's unrelated to the main plot, have them be connected to some deeper conspiracy. They might seem unrelated, but as they begin to loot the body and loot the lair of this enemy, they find instructions from the big bad evil guy. This revelation deepens the mystery, and it shows the party that they are intertwined in a much more intricate and devilish plot than what they originally thought. Number 3, this is one of my favorite, and I've used it on multiple occasions. Sometimes the players didn't even catch that it happened. An NPC Doppelganger. So let's just say there's an NPC that's close to the party, right? They love the party, they get along, they visit them, maybe even they're a PC or an NPC that travels with the party. They depart every now and again to go do their own thing, but they always return. This NPC departs and returns a little bit sooner than expected. They act the same, they talk the same. There's no reason for suspicion. They adventure with the party for a bit, but then one day, the party receives a message, whether it be a letter or the sending spell from that NPC. Oh. As all of their heads slowly start to turn back to the NPC that is with them, uncomfortably making eye contact. The party has 2 choices. One, they either confront the NPC that is there immediately, or they respond back to the NPC that sent them the message or that you sending and ask them a question. Which one is the fake? Which one is the doppelganger? They won't know, and they'll have to investigate. And maybe they'll immediately go out on the bloodshed and they'll attack the person that's there, but then maybe, just maybe, you can use a reversal of this plot twist. The doppelganger was the one that sent the message. The one that is with them is the real NPC. Using this and the reversal of it, this plot twist and the reversal of it, can cause sparks to happen at your table. And for my players, this has happened multiple occasions, one of which you know about. But I think there's at least 3 or 4 other ones that you guys just didn't catch. Whoops. Number 4, Dormant Equipment Awakening. Imagine this. The party is delving through a crypt and the barbarian finds a helm. The helm was really cool. It was once the helm of a roving warlord. However, now it's just a rusty piece of equipment, but it fits the barbarian's aesthetic, and the barbarian player, well, they haven't gotten an item in a while, and even though it's not magical, it's still pretty cool. This helm, after hitting a specific trigger, like defeating enough enemies or intimidating enough people, the helm awakens, and it becomes a magical item, and maybe it's even a sentient magical item, imbued with the spirit of that warlord from long ago. I think that's really cool, and here is the biggest thing you should take away from this. Plot twists do not always need to negatively impact the party. There is such thing, and we'll talk about a few more, positive plot twists that surprise the players, that reward them, right? They decided to go into the crypt. They decided to loot it, and the barbarian decided to keep the helm even though it wasn't magical. Well, we reward that. After they kill 10 people, or it doesn't need to be 10, it can be however many feels right, the helm awakens. And now they have a magical item, and they feel pretty cool about it. Number 5. I really like this one. The Dragon in Disguise. Here's the thing about D&D, and a lot of past editions of D&D 5e, dragons have the ability to shapeshift. So imagine this. The party has a great idea. They think the queen is evil. So what they're going to do is they have this assassination attempt plan. They're going to seek an audience because they're upcoming adventurers. They save some people, and they go into the throne room. Rogue goes to strike, and the rogue player gets this smug look on his face as he says, yeah, DM, that's going to be a 19 to hit, thinking that this is just a normal noble NPC. As the DM, you can kind of laugh. That doesn't hit. As you see horror strike everyone's face at the table, as they realize they are way in over their head, the queen sort of moves her head back and cracks her neck as her form begins to elongate and grow. These deep, deep, deep blue scales begin to show, and the voice begins to boom. How dare you assault me in my own throne? You are banished from this kingdom, and should I ever see you again, you will be executed. It's pretty cool. Maybe you don't want to give away that she's a shape-shifting dragon, so instead, when the rogue hits the queen, you can describe it as so. Even though the blade should find purchase, even though it should sink into the flesh and squelch and spurt blood, instead, it deflects. The blade scrapes off the shoulder like dragon scales. Either one of those work. If you want to keep the dragon a secret for a bit longer, or if you don't want the queen to reveal it in that moment, go ahead. That's fine. But it is a really, really, really cool thing you can do at your tables as a plot twist. Number 6, the Forgotten Ally. There's a character who once aided the party and was forgotten, but they reemerge at a critical moment with essential information or assistance. Now, this can be used any way that you want. It doesn't necessarily need to be a forgotten ally. It could be somebody who went away seeking information and comes back at just the right moment. If you're looking for an example from media, in Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, when Gandalf arrives at the end of the Siege of Helm's Deep with the rest of the Rohirrim, that is an ally arriving with aid. Or perhaps it could be an ally arriving with knowledge. The party is stuck at a dead end. They don't know what to do. But then their trusty wizard companion from the starting town arrives with information that's helpful to the party. Because plot twists just aren't to keep your players fresh, they can be used to help keep the story moving forward. They are a tool for you to do cool things and to help keep the momentum up. I like to use plot twists when things start to drag down, and this is a great moment for that, to help put the party back on the right track and send them off onto adventure, as opposed to sitting around a table theorizing for 2 hours, which is great, don't get me wrong, but they gotta do stuff, you know? 7, Betrayal from Within. A trusted ally or party member is uncovered as a spy for the enemy, unraveling the party's trust and introducing a layer of intrigue as they scramble to identify the traitor among them. Now, this could be a known traitor or an unknown traitor. They could get a letter in the middle of the night saying that one among you is a liar. They're a servant for the Dark Lord. It's up to you to figure out who. Oh, God. Okay. Well, let's try and figure that out, and we can have, pointing the fingers at the party members. They can start to blame each other. One caveat to this, though, and please, please, please keep this in mind. At your table, during your session 0, please make sure that you talk about this with your players if this is something you plan to do beforehand. Some tables would love this if one of the party members was betraying them. Right? If for the entirety of the campaign they were a spy for the enemy, that could be really cool at the right table. Some players would get really bent out of shape about that and feel like their trust was misplaced, and you want to be cognizant of that. So, while Betrayal from Within as a player character can be cool, do not do it unless your party is okay with it. This is not a majority, this is unanimous consent to something like this. I'm just trying to save you grief in the future, okay? Even if you got a really cool idea, it's not worth it if it makes 50% of your players uncomfortable. In fact, it's not worth it if it makes 1% of your players uncomfortable. How about that? Does that sound okay? I think so. Yeah. Okay, all right, bye-bye. Number 8, a cursed victory. The party's triumph unwittingly unleashes a greater evil, such as freeing an ancient demon or cursing the land. It adds a moral complexity to their victory. What I mean by this is something happens during the fighting, or the party needs an item, and the only way they can get it is by freeing something that's evil. Or perhaps, let's just say that there is a hag that's infecting the land. It's causing people to have nightmares. But this hag is sitting on top of a ley line of magical power. And because the hag is harvesting it, it's preventing the entire area from entering into like a spell plague or something, where if the hag's not siphoning this magical power, everything's going to fall apart. rocks are going to begin to float from the air, and babies that are born are going to have magical runes inscribed on them and wreak havoc as children. It's something that has long-lasting impacts, not just on the players and how they feel about what they did, but on the world and on what you do. Number 9, a secret society unveiled. This one connects back to a connection to a deeper conspiracy, but on a much wider scale. This is something as a plot twist you want to do early in the campaign because it will become a through line for the rest of the campaign. If anybody here has ever played any of the Assassin's Creed games, right? This is something like the Templar faction or the Assassins. What I mean by that is when the party defeats the first minor villain, right? Somebody who is just there to introduce them to how the world works and is this first antagonistic force, and rather minor, you know, a goblin boss or a bugbear bandit leader or just a regular old bandit captain. These monsters serve as an introduction to handling politics with a seedy underbelly. But perhaps when they defeat this individual, they discover that they're connected to a much wider organization. They find a symbol that bears the mark of the Betrayer Lords, these individuals that try to control the world. Illuminati type stuff, you know, right? That's what we're kind of getting at here. Having that stuff in your world and having it be laughable for people to bring it up because it seems so ridiculous. Oh, what, you're telling me that there is some secret faction trying to control everything? The 5 nations can barely get along. They're almost always at war with each other. So you're saying that underneath all of that, people are working together to dominate it all for their own benefit? That's the NPC, right? And then you have your players who's like the Pepe Sylvia, like, look, it's all connected. I swear, right? They sound like insane people, but that's cool, right? Because the players are so passionate about it, they need to uncover this plot, but nobody's going to believe them until they have insurmountable evidence. And maybe, as the plot twist of plot twisties, when they go to present this information to the king or to the queen or to the law arbiters of the paladins of Tyr, right? They go to present this information. They hear their information and they find them guilty. They find the party guilty of conspiring, of trying to dissolve public interest and trying to hurt the nation. Because the paladins of Tyr, these arbiters, these royalty, these people that are meant to hold up honor and justice, they're also corrupted. And then the question that the party has is, do we dismember all of this? Do we tear the whole thing down and start over? Or do we try and fix what's broken? Mark talks about this a little bit more in his Fallout New Vegas video, so be sure to go check that out. The section about dialectics. Number 10, a cursed legacy. This goes all the way back to point 1, where I said the Baron, he dies, he is slain by his nephew, and he says, I'm sorry that this cursed legacy passes to you. So let's just say that there is a seemingly beneficial item or title that's inherited or acquired by the party. But it turns out to carry this hidden curse or a dark history. It intertwines the party and forces them to delve into ancient conflicts or to cleanse or embrace this curse's legacy. For the Paladin, from the example from point number 1, this could just be that the player character decides to be more paranoid, right? They think they're cursed because that's what their uncle said. So they're gonna believe that. The truth is, they're really not. It's just something that's in their mind. But, you know, maybe the person that cursed him's a madness god. So maybe that's what they were trying to do all along. See how easy it is, right? I'm freeballing here. Well, I'm spitballing, not that. Another way to use cursed legacy is at the start of a campaign, right? Give a player, one of your PCs, a magic item, right? Seemingly mundane in some cases, maybe just a +1 dagger or a +1 short sword, something that they can use and that they'll use frequently. And it was a gift from a, great-great-grandparent. They never really knew, but it was something that was left to them in an inheritance. Cool, right? That's awesome. However, the more they use it, the more it's around, the more the power begins to grow. I think that Matthew Mercer did a great job involving magic items, but the vestiges of divergence, those are great examples of magic items that grow and shift with players. And you can do that same thing, but in a twisted, in a grotesque way with this cursed legacy. And that is it. Those are the 10 things you can use in your campaign as plot twists to help make them more engaging, to get your players excited and fervorous for your game. I use a lot of these plot twists myself, and I think that they serve a wonderful purpose. So be sure to subscribe if you like the video. Like I said, comment down below with plot twists you've used in your campaigns, or if you'd like to see more information about how to craft narratives and how to tell stories. I'd love to talk more about it. Like it if you liked it. And with that, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.